Welcome to Part 10 of our video series on detailed reading of the Digital Personal Data Protection Rules, 2025. Please check the Part 1 to get an overview of all the rules, schedules, and the grouping of the rules or schedules. In this video, we will review the schedules that are grouped under the Consent Manager Ecosystem schedules. As discussed in Part 1, the DPDP rules comprise 23 rules, and we have grouped them into 8 groups for easy reference and understanding. Again, as discussed in Part 1, these rules are supported by 9 high-level schedules, and we have grouped them into 4 groups. The Consent Manager Ecosystem is detailed in the first schedule, covering registration conditions and obligations. Key requirements include a minimum net worth of 2 crore rupees, 7 years of record retention, and a shareholding disclosure threshold greater than 2%. Part A of the first schedule outlines the conditions for registering as a consent manager. These include being a company incorporated in India with sufficient technical, operational, and financial capacity. The applicant must have a net worth of at least 2 crore rupees, and its management must have a good reputation for fairness and integrity. Further, per Part A, conditions require that the company's memorandum and articles of association contain provisions for adhering to specific obligations under Part B, subject to board approval for amendments. The proposed operations must also be in the interests of data principals. Finally, the consent manager must be independently certified. This certification ensures their interoperable platform is consistent with data protection standards, and they have appropriate technical and organizational measures for adherence to these standards and the obligations in Item 11 of Part B. Part B outlines the consent manager's obligations. They must enable data principals to give, deny, or withdraw consent using their platform. Critically, the manner of making personal data available must ensure its contents are not readable by the consent manager. They must also maintain records of consents, notices, and data sharing. The consent manager must provide the data principal access to their consent record and, upon request, make the information available in a machine-readable form. This record must be maintained for at least 7 years. They must also develop and maintain a website or app as the primary means for data principals to access their services. Additional obligations include not subcontracting their duties and implementing reasonable security safeguards against personal data breaches. They must act in a fiduciary capacity for the data principal and actively avoid any conflict of interest with data fiduciaries. Item 11 mandates the publication of key information in an easily accessible manner. This includes details of promoters and directors, and every person or corporate body holding shares in excess of 2% of the company's shareholding, in the interests of transparency. The consent manager must establish effective audit mechanisms to review, monitor, and report outcomes to the board. This covers technical and organizational controls, continued fulfillment of registration conditions, and adherence to obligations. Furthermore, company control cannot be transferred without the board's prior approval. The Notes section provides important definitions for terms used in the first schedule, aligning them with the Companies Act, 2013. These definitions cover body corporate, company, control, director, key managerial personnel, net worth, promoter, and senior management. We recommend the Calpi Quiz app, available on the Google Play Store, to test your knowledge of cybersecurity, the DPDP Act, and other important topics. The app offers various levels of difficulty and interactive assessments to improve your awareness. Thank you for watching this video relating to the raw reading of the DPDP Rules 2025. Hope you now know more about the rules given in the document. This was the 25th video in this series released by dpdpamentor.in. Please visit our YouTube channel, DPDPA Mentor, as well as our website, dpdpamentor.in, regularly to check out other informative resources. Wishing you a successful DPDP Act implementation.